now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to The Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. In this bulletin, another death in speeding accident. 4 appear in court in relation to assault on police commissioner last week. And tremors felt in at least 6 Kandavu villages. A 23-year-old man is dead after an early morning accident in Nasese, Suva. According to police, the area has become notorious for speeding and careless driving. Edwin Nand reports.
The driver lost his life inside this van before rescue workers could cut him out.
It all points down to overspeeding by our vehicles. That is the driver's attitude.
This stretch of road has become quite a concern. There are increasing reports of speeding and reckless driving in an area that's mostly frequented by families, more so in the weekends. Police say while they will up patrols, it's everyone's responsibility to ensure the roads are safe and that witnesses should report unsafe drivers immediately.
It's just attitude by drivers. They need to be considerate. They should follow the law.
As for the accident this morning, the portion of the roof that hit a tree in Nasese Suva has caved in, indicating the severity of the injuries suffered by the 23-year-old driver. A passenger remains admitted at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva. Police are worried that motorists are ignoring road rules.
First quarter for this year, it's 2015, our traffic department have already booked nearly 8,000 drivers. That's alarming statistics.
Last year, more than 40,000 people were booked for speeding. The Fiji Police Force is hoping that number will drop as motorists become more responsible. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
4 men appeared in the Suva Magistrate Court today, charged with 6 counts of aggravated robbery, 1 count of act with intent to cause grievous harm, and 1 count of theft of a motor vehicle. Chanel Sivan was at the Suva Magistrate Court.
It's alleged these men attempted to rob a bottle shop cum restaurant in Flagstaff, Suva last Thursday evening. Police Commissioner Major General Ben Hunewald was injured in the process of stopping the robbery. The 4 men, Cheke Vakararawa, Seramaya Mundura, Mosese Tarau and Tevita Nganganivalu, have been remanded at the Totonga Police Station in Suva. Police Prosecutor Joshua Shaw asked the suspects not to be kept at the Suva Remand Center in order to help investigators reconstruct the scene of the alleged robbery. He indicated that 9 other cases involving the same men are still pending. The men, all in their 20s, are represented by Legal Aid, which has asked for a medical checkup immediately because of claims of police brutality. Police have until Wednesday to finalize their investigations and file a report why the suspects should be remanded at the Totonga Police Station. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
60 tremors have been felt in 4 villages in the district of Nakasaleka in Kandavu and 3 villages along Kavala Bay in the past few days. The Mineral Resource Department is currently investigating the tremors, which they say are not linked directly to an earthquake. Watisoni Rekandroka reports.
The villages of Lomanikoro, Nakaunakoro, Nakoronawa and Nakaungasele in the district of Nakaseleka and Kavala, Solotabui and Lawaki villages along Kavala Bay started experiencing the tremors from over 2 weeks ago.
From 4 p.m. Yesterday, that was Sunday, until 5 a.m. this morning, Monday the 25th, there were about 60 shake or 60 happenings.
Rokotui Kandavu Eroni Bunisa says the impact of the tremors have caused damage to the Nakaungasela Village Hall and some other concrete houses. A team from the provincial office has been deployed to the villages. A report is expected from them tomorrow. The Kasaleka district rep Ratu Simon Rambidi says the biggest tremor was felt on Saturday and Sunday.
Part of the wall at Nakaunikoro Hall is damaged, and also 4 cement houses in the village is partially damaged.
Director Mineral Resource Malakai Finau says they deployed a team to Kandavu last week to record the tremors.
Last week we managed to get some equipment over to detect the actual movements, and our equipment confirmed that there are tremors occurring in the 4 villages of Nakasaleka that we've been receiving reports.
There has not been any report of casualty. Villagers have been advised to evacuate to the school and nearby settlements in the evening and return to their homes at daytime. The National Disaster Management Office and Mineral Resources Department are currently monitoring the situation closely. Watisoni Rekanroka, FBC News.
The opposition office says it is aware that Ratunenga Malala has complied with all the directives of Parliament as stated in the Privileges Committee report. FBC News asked Opposition Chambers Administrator Mick Beddoes whether Ratunengama has issued a written public apology to the Speaker, as is one of the recommendations of the report. Beddoes says Ratunengama has complied with all the requirements. The Secretary-General to Parliament, Viniana Namosi-Malua, is yet to reply to our questions. Fiji Airways will welcome its new Boeing 737 aircraft tomorrow. It is the latest addition to their expanding fleet, increasing the number of aircraft to a total of 8. Later this year, they will receive another Airbus, which is going to strengthen the airline's network. Christopher Chand reports.
The past few weeks have been marred by flight disruptions. Tomorrow, the airline has reason to smile when the Boeing 737-800 aircraft arrives in Nandi to increase flight capacity. Unlike the multi-billion-dollar Airbus purchase, this plane is being leased and will be used to fly on the new route to Wellington and additional flights to Christchurch. There is also talk of using it to fly to a new destination in Tonga. However, this has not been confirmed. In total, the airline will boast 8 planes, 3 Airbus A330-200 and 5 Boeing 737s. Out of the 5 Boeing 737s, there will be 4 737-800 aircraft and 1 737-700. The fleet will increase to 9 when their Airbus A330-300 arrives towards the end of the year. However, on the ground following yesterday's 3-hour delay to its Sydney and Melbourne flights, the airline also had to cancel its Los Angeles flight this morning. Several flights have been delayed due to the mishap more than a week ago, forcing one of the brand new aircraft to be grounded for repair works. It's not known how long the disruptions will continue. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The Electoral Commission is expected to meet tomorrow to discuss the appointment of counsel and the case against them by the Attorney General's office contesting the awarding of a seat to SEDELPA candidate Mikaele Lewere. Lewere resigned from the Fijian Teachers Association to contest the September general elections. However, failing to win a seat, he resumed his role as General Secretary with the union last year. He was awarded the seat after the death of Ratu Viliame Tangivetawa in March. The case is before the High Court's Court of Disputed Returns and is listed for mention this Thursday on the 28th of May. Lewere is represented by lawyer John Apted and the AG's office counsel is Divinesh Sharma. Also on the Electoral Commission agenda is the vacant Fiji First seat, which is expected to be filled by Lautoka businessman Alex O'Connor. The seat was left vacant after the resignation of Pio Tikunduandua. Still to come on FBC News, members of Parliament discuss development issues in the Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulabalaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics, right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. Prime Minister Varengan Bainimarama has supported Indonesia's bid to become an associate member of the Melanesian Spearhead Group, or MSG. PAC News reports Bainimarama confirmed that having Indonesia as an associate member made sense given that Papua has more than 11 million Melanesian people. He says the issue of alleged human rights abuse by Indonesia will best be dealt with if Indonesia is allowed in the MSG bloc. However, as Papua comes under the sovereignty of Indonesia, the last thing Fiji will do is interfere in Indonesia's sovereignty. It is expected a decision on the issue will be decided when the Melanesian leaders meet in the Solomon Islands in July. Indonesia would be represented by the governors of its 5 eastern provinces at meetings of the MSG. Prime Minister Varengan Bainimarama has thanked his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe for the hospitality accorded to him and his delegation during last week's Palm 7 summit. Bainimarama said the reception from the Japanese government was at the highest level and he was satisfied with the issues discussed at the summit, especially about climate change, which is affecting Pacific Island countries. According to PAC News, Bainimarama says the summit came up with a lot of genuine and useful topics for them to talk about. Bainimarama says he is now looking forward to continuing interaction with the rest of the Pacific leaders with regards to climate change. Bainimarama says the renewed diplomatic relations with Japan has ensured the Asian nation will take Fiji seriously. This is the first time that a Fijian leader has visited Japan in 10 years. Members of Parliament sat together in a workshop today to discuss development issues included in the Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. Officiating as chief guest, Speaker of Parliament Dr. Chico Luveni reminded the MPs of their responsibilities. Akasita Tale has more.
Parliaments and parliamentarians have a clear and important role to play to ensure progress is made to achieve Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. The Speaker of Parliament, Dr. Chico Luveni, says effective parliamentary engagement can be a medium to speed up progress towards these achievements.
If new laws are needed to accelerate progress in achieving the new SDGs, it will be us in Parliament that will decide the content of these laws. If more funding is needed for certain ministries to achieve these new SDGs, it will be us in Parliament that will scrutinize the national budget with these SDGs in mind.
The one-day workshop organized by UNDP is an opportunity for the MPs to hear about MDGs and SDGs from experts.
You will all get your chance to Parliament committees and the Chamber to debate these issues and ask questions of ministers on some of these topics. The experts here will provide the information needed to make debates on these issues in Parliament more informative.
The Millennium Development Goals are 8 international development goals that were established following the Millennium Summit of the UN in 2000, following the adoption of the United Nations Millennium Declaration. The Sustainable Development Goals are a proposed set of targets relating to future international development. They are to replace the Millennium Development Goals once they expire at the end of 2015. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The sustainable development, management and conservation of our ocean will be the vision discussed in the Pacific Ocean Alliance meeting which started today. About 100 members from the diplomatic corps, regional and international organizations are attending the 3-day meeting in Lamy. Ali Kimbaya has more.
The ocean and its resources play a vital role in the daily lives of people in the Pacific. And for some, the ocean has been home for generations. Such meetings like this will help put together a framework for the conservation and protection of our Pacific Ocean.
We have to strengthen existing partnerships and forge new alliances as we look for new and innovative ways to implement this agenda. The Pacific Ocean Alliance is a vital part of this effort.
In dealing with this issue, a consistent and integrated approach is strongly needed to monitor such areas of ocean activities.
Yet our efforts are jeopardized by increasing threats and challenges from outside of our region that is beyond our control, which undermine the resilience of our ecosystems, in particular many legal gaps in the international framework.
Apart from discussing ways to protect our ocean, the Pacific Ocean Alliance now has a responsibility to ensure the protection of our marine resources for the future. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Sports is up next. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Amrita, and good evening. Coming up, we get the latest from the Vodafone Fiji Under-20 football side, counting down to the FIFA World Cup, and new look Nandi rugby side hunt for second win in Skipper Cup competition. We'll have this and more after the break.
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 का ये प्रसारण आपके कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत हम कर रहे हैं। याद रखते हैं अभी से लेकर रात 12 तक यह सिलसिला हमारा रात का चलता रहेगा। दृष्टिकोण में आपका हम स्वागत कर रहे हैं। दृष्टिकोण के तुरंत बाद आगे बढ़ते हैं कार्यक्रम में। इधर कहते हैं कि गहरी थी रात लेकिन हम सोए नहीं, गहरी थी रात लेकिन हम सोए नहीं, दर्द बहुत था दिल में पर हम रोए नहीं, कोई नहीं हमारा जो पूछे हमसे, जाग रहे हो किसके लिए या किसी के लिए सोए नहीं। याद रखें गीत संगीत का तकाजा आपके लिए रात 12 तक आपको हम सोने नहीं देंगे। महकती रातें हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक रात 7 से लेकर 12 के बीच रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
The Vodafone Fiji Under-20 football side has settled in well in New Zealand ahead of the FIFA World Cup, which starts on Saturday. After playing 3 tough build-up matches, Fiji officials are certain they have prepared a competitive squad for the event. Rohit Deo has more.
Spirits are high in the Vodafone Fiji Under-20 camp as they prepare to take part in the biggest event of their career. Coach Frank Farina says his side has learned a lot from the warm-up games.
Sydney was very beneficial. I mean, the 2 games against Mexico and Colombia were fantastic for the side. The transition's been okay. Obviously, the weather's a little bit different in Auckland. We've had quite a bit of rain, and the training field is basically a rugby league field. So we've sort of adapted to that.
Farina adds the team has received overwhelming support so far,
particularly the Fijian communities, both here in Auckland and particularly in Sydney. We had been to Sydney before and we saw what sort of great hosts they were, and this time around was just as good, if not better. And that support's there from family, friends, the Fijian community, which as we said, it's a landmark occasion for football in Fiji, and as you said, the support has been fantastic, and we obviously we expect it'll continue all the way through the World Cup.
There are no major setbacks for the side except that Jonathan Bucks has a fracture and will be monitored for the next few days.
We've got no knocks, no real injuries apart from Bucks, who we think might have a slight hairline fracture in his foot, but we'll see in the next few days how he goes.
The FIFA World Cup starts on Saturday with New Zealand taking on Ukraine in the first match. Fiji plays its opening group match against Germany at 1 p.m. on Monday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, in its final warm-up match this afternoon, the Fiji Under-20 side went down to Hungary 7-0. The Suva football side plays 2 matches in the Rewa Galaxy Premier League this weekend. The capital city side plays Nandronga at 7 p.m. at Singatoka's Lawanga Park. Then will meet neighbours Rewa in Nausori at 3 p.m. on Sunday. There will be a double-header at Prince Charles Park in Nandi on Sunday, with Nandi taking on Tailebu Naita Siri at 1 p.m. while Atoka plays Lambasa at 3 p.m. Nandi currently leads the points table with 23 points. And you can catch live commentary of the Lautoka Lambasa match on Radio Fiji 2 with the voice of football Raymond Stoddart. Fiji Rugby Union board member Jay White says the success of the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team can be attributed to many things. White, speaking on FBC's For the Record show last night, adds that the appointment of Ben Ryan as head coach has definitely made a huge difference, and given that he has proven his worth, is sure to be backed by the FRU.
I guess the rise of the success of this team is many different parts to make the success, and obviously with the appointment of Ben Ryan 18 months ago was obviously a turning point. He came in with no previous experience or sort of understanding any of the politics that's involved with rugby here in Fiji, and he was able to make decisions based on what he saw.
Coach Ben Ryan guided the Fiji side to win the World 7 Series title after a lapse of 9 years. The Jackson Nandi rugby team will be in for a tough battle when it takes on Naita Siri in its second match of the Skipper Cup competition this weekend. The Usaya Koroi coach side defeated Tailevu 32-12 at Ratu Thakambau Park in Ausori last week. The Nandi coaching staff are working tirelessly with the squad to prepare for its clash against Naita Siri and are focused on remaining consistent throughout the tournament. Meanwhile, Naita Siri defeated defending champions Nandronga 16-13 in the opening match. The Jet Setters will be hosting Naita Siri at Prince Charles Park at 3 p.m. this Saturday. In other matches, Nandronga will take on Vatukolo at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. Northland will meet Suva at Gatwood Park in Korvo. Tavoa will host Ovalau at Gavi Park, and Madhuwata takes on Namosi at Subrel Park in Lambasa. Veteran Kiwi bowler Douglas Kent has praised the organizers of the Fiji Airways Sunny West Bowling Carnival, saying competition has improved immensely. The 75-year-old from Auckland is the oldest participant in the tournament. Josephine Navula has the details.
Douglas Kent has been bowling for 35 years, and this is the second time he has participated in the competition in Nandi.
Oh, the standard is getting better all the time. You know, there's more intensive coaching happening, you know, and a lot of young players coming into the game, you know, and most of the top players are under 40.
The New Zealander has commanded the local bowlers in the competition.
Well, I admire the Fijians because they seem to handle the conditions here very good, you know. And when they do come to New Zealand, they adapt well there too, because the greens are much faster, totally different to what you have in Fiji.
Kent is also looking forward to coming back and participating in the other bowling tournaments.
It's always guaranteed good weather up here, you know, and it's an excellent tournament. It's very well run, you know. So we enjoy coming here, you know.
Kent is among the 65 international bowlers who are participating in the week-long bowling tournament at the Nandi Sports Club. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
A huge number of participants are expected to turn up for this week's quarter-mile drag race. Officials have confirmed they have been receiving numerous calls regarding the race and are hoping for a good turnout this Sunday.
Preparation is going very well. We have finished all the paperwork. You know, it's encouraging to see we receive a lot of inquiries last week, and you know, there was a lot of inquiries from the ladies drivers as well last week. You know, so it's pleasing to know that, you know, a few of the ladies have confirmed them to come out on Sunday and race.
The drag race will be held at the Nanuku airstrip in Pacific Harbour. And that's your sports for tonight. Good evening.
More than 60% of women entrepreneurs in the country are from the rural communities. This has been revealed by the Women Entrepreneurs and Business Council, which carried out a mini-survey earlier this year. Shireen Lata reports.
More women are now venturing into the business sector, helping their families to earn income and making contributions to the economy of the country. Most of the women are from the rural community, and the Women Entrepreneurs and Business Council is urging women in urban areas to take interest in business.
We need to have more women becoming entrepreneurs, because not only they can do that out of their passion, they can do that to support and complement the income of their spouses.
Price of the living is too high, so depend on one pocket, on one person working, we can't survive now.
Florist Ulamila Bera says it's unfortunate some women do not take interest.
To encourage them, but still, especially from, they haven't learned much about microfinance.
Nandakwita Vuki says most women entrepreneurs who are registered with the council went through challenges in order to reach to greater heights. She says one concern is obtaining business licenses from the town councils. The council is now working with the local government ministry.
Even in a strategic meeting we had last year, we actually had the licensing officer from the Superseed Council present here to go through with the ladies the requirements that they need to provide in order for the issuance of their business license.
The Women Entrepreneurs and Business Council is organizing technical, financial management and social media workshops for business women to help them improve their business. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
fine weather conditions were experienced over the country today. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over the Solomon Islands and extends southwards over Vanuatu. Another trough affects Samoa and Wallis and Futuna. Temperature Savu penciled 27 degrees, the lowest at 3 p.m. today, bar the highest with 32 degrees. Tomorrow should be fine all over the country except for some possible showers in Suva and Savu. As for the further outlook, fine apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, cool at night. Recapping our headlines, another death in speeding accident. 4 appear in court in relation to assault on police commissioner last week, and tremors felt in at least 6 Kandavu villages. Now to the results of last week's poll question. Our question was, should nightclub opening hours be reviewed? 80% of the votes said yes. This week's question, should there be stricter requirements for getting a driver's license? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.